Right. So, welcome everyone. This time is the episode 3 Saving the Last of a Runways of a Den House Remnants, Rack Remnants. Um, Today we're gonna discuss more about the rock architecture. So, this episode is not gonna be like a video regarding about Dan's remnants and then exciting what's inside, but we're gonna talk about the planning. So created a tool based on the pedal playground, and then this just basically a tool for planning. I think building a great things requires a great planning. So let's get started. So in the early days, I believe Dan was using two racks. Like one is for the amp, and then the second here is for all the effects, though I don't know what's in details over here. Um, uh, we'll try to figure it out what it is. I can see like some remnants here, like the TC2290. Um, well, don't have that remnants, but I believe the studio preamp, and then the switchings over here. As you can see, like there are like two switchings, though it's like quite hidden between his legs, and then the Rocktron RSB. So these are like the remnants still have left that I plan to use as well. But there are like other effects over here that it's very hard to see or to recognize. Um, but anyway, I'll try my best to recreate this as a, like a rack architectures of how it's actually the real rack system should be. And another piece that it's quite interesting, um, Dan in back in the session days also using like a JMP1, as you can see here. So he's using the Studio Preamp, Kasha Rock Mod, and then JMP1 Marshall. So I think at some point he switched back and forth between these three preamps, which is that makes sense. Another thing that's interesting too, this picture I've taken from the when I opened the case, the flight case. There's instruction here, and I think like this is worth sharing because it does have some information. Like take a look at the here on the top. There's like PV Classic 50, PV 100, Matchless, Tone Masters, and the whole rack about the amp and the effects. So it looks like step one, stack and plug in heads, yada yada yada. Um, and it looks like he also uses the Dynacom. He changed that because I believe there's some point that he's using DBX rack, but in live situation he might use the Dynacom on the board and then going to DD3 or some like Boss digital delay paddle, which is quite interesting. Um, but the last instruction said like pull out the MXR volume digital delay pedals, and that's it. Didn't have much clear instruction words should be connected, but we'll I think like that's part of the mystery. And also in addition to this, I know that these two racks were custom by Bob back in the days. So contacted Bob. Thank you, Bob, if you seeing this video. Thank you for responding my email. Thank you so much. What happened was that he said I don't have any memories or any uh, diagram or structures about how this get connected. But he pointed some really good point because in the RSB, it should have the um, underneath the switcher, the patcher that you've seen in the episode 2. So that is really cool. Now let's try to build it up something like what Dan has. So there's like a 216U space, I believe. So 16U, and then let's add the juice goose, which is the power conditioner. And then let's add like the groove tubes, right? Groove tubes. He has like a speaker emulator over there. And then of course the infamous rock mod. Got the rock mod, and then got the studio preamp. That's another one over there. And then what else? Yeah, Marshall, maybe yes or no. But if we go back to here, it's quite interesting. He has Ditronics, the infamous Chuck Monty, the chorus, tri-stereo chorus rack. So let's see, Songbird, I believe. I don't have that one. Tri-stereo chorus. I will add that later on. But yeah, just missing the gap over here. There's like a tri-stereo chorus. And then after that, it looks like this is a A3 by Quark. So let's see, A3. I do have A3, which is that's cool. Yeah, keep in mind this is for the tri-stereo chorus. And then after that, he got like PV Classic, I believe, Power amp to slave that out from um, the other amplifiers. Like as you can see on the top, you got like the Classic 50, and then don't know what this is, maybe Matchless or other amp. But yeah, I'm shooting the dark right now. Then after that, get the 2150, which is the VHT, famous, really nice color. And then the last part, we got the custom audio electronics, which is his I think like the first patch looks like. Yeah, it looks like the first patch, which is this is pull up like from the juice extractor. I don't know where the juice extractor, somewhere in the middle between here it could be. Yeah, let's add that probably. That's probably the juice extractor, that Rocktron juice extractor. He might use that, or or maybe in the second one, but definitely he used this one to split out the channels from the amps. Now, going to the second rack, which is this is amp rack. I believe he should have the similar start, which is using the Juice Goose or any power conditioners, right? So using that one on the top. Then going over that, I believe H3000B. So he got H3000B, right? And then I believe underneath H3000B he got 2290, or no, this is looks like I don't know. This is something like it's still a mystery to me. It's really hard to see like what that is. Maybe somewhere around the internet like knows more. Yeah, feel free to comment on the link. So I'll definitely thankful. Um, let's skip that for now, and then go to the 2290. He has TC Electronics 2290, which is another infamous, the king of delay. And then underneath that, I believe he has Unity Passec line mixer. He got that line mixer. And then underneath that line mixer, he should have like the 2240. And then I think that's what he got here. I don't know what this is. It's like I don't wanna guess it like it's STD1 by ADA, but might be something else. Might be DBX. Maybe it looks like DBX something. Let's assume that he used that back in the days, because I know for sure he's using the compressor, either 160X or 160A. So use that compressor, and then the second switching, right, from custom audio electronics, which is the patch 2, right? And somewhere in between, I remember like from the remnants we got like Roland as SDE 330, and then also the PV Velver Alesis Quad Verb as well. He might use it, he might not use it. Yeah, that's the quite the challenge. It might be part of this effects that he was using, but definitely he used some effects processors, other effects processors to do some heavy duty jobs like modulations or delays or reverb. Um, I think I, I do my best to compose what has left, what we have left. So I think this is the closest that I can think of about their his rack architectures back in the days. I know that in the previous episode we talked like how he connects this definitely goes back to this um, patch panel, and then going back to the Rocktorn RSPs on the back. I know for sure that within this patch panel on the back there is like extension for the Rocktron. Oh, we missed the Rocktron actually. Yes, we need to add that Rocktron. So here you go. Should feel a little bit complete here. Yeah. So technically speaking, this still missing some pieces of the racks over here, which is I don't know what was in this picture back in the day. So um, first of all, thank you. I forgot to mention, first of all, Mike Oxley took this picture, which is great. Finally got some clues about it. And then the instructional videos also like give some insight, like what was it is actually, right? Check it out, his instructional video on YouTube. It sounds amazing, this two rack. So, and the other thing too, which is this is the remnants, right? Another remnants, how to plug. And then um anyway, this is what I think, like what's the closest we got Dan's got back in the day, if you know, without looking at the backs, doing like the patchings on the back and so on. Now the challenge here is we only get one rack left. We don't have like these two racks. What I'm gonna do with it if everything's composed in one rack, right? So here's the plan that I got so far. So let me delete this. I was playing around with it before. Um, there are a couple of ways how I plan this. Definitely use all the spaces and keep some of the remnants. Definitely compressor on the top to to do some limitings, and then do some um, the structurings of the how the guitar get compressed, the signals get compressed, and then mixer and the 2290, which is that staples, and then I use a single channel parametric EQ for 1140. I think we need this for the rack, because there's like a tone shapings and also like preamplifier on this unit that makes it like so nice. And then SDE 330, this is actually from Dan's remnants. I repair it, I'm gonna make another video about it. But I think the coolest thing about this here is the patch 18, which is the stereo delay, and that is set up by Dan. Then Dan's have set up for whatever he's doing for the stereo delay. Usually back in the days, like if you've seen Mike Nielsen video or other videos, Friedman videos, or even like going to NAMM and then see like the Friedman's rack, um, this is kind of like the setup with the two SDE 3000. But with the SDE 330, you can achieve that with just only a single space rack. So this is very convenient, very nice. Um, there's like a tons of information about SDE 330 that can be converted into SR. I believe the reverb SRE or something. I don't know, but there's like a reverb SDX, right? The SDX is the chorus. The chorus um, can do more things with this, but the platform overall, the boards, everything, it's the same. So it's quite interesting unit. I love it. Then SPX90. Oh, yeah, Dan's used SPX90 back in the days. So maybe part of it is actually using the SPX90 too. That's a good one. Or SPX900, right? So there you go. That's another piece there from the missing puzzle over there. So, and then to get a nice reverb and lush reverb or circle delays, I decided to use like PCM 80 with the dual effects. I think this to reach the or to satisfy the requirements, like what kind of reverb that we can use, what kind of really nice. I tend to think it about more what's this usage of it, what kind of reverb that it's pretty versatile enough to do multiple jobs. So I think decided to just go with PCM 80. I remember in some articles, there are like a couple articles actually that mentioned Dan also using 80s and 70s back in the days. So don't know whether that's real, but I've seen the photos with him um, playing live with one of this unit. So, but again, but this is not from his remnants. So, um, and then Eclipse, I decided to use Eclipse because again, it's fit into one rack. Great organization, great effects, more modern. I know people vouch about like how 3500, 3000 is a great for harmonizers, and then a lot of kinds of detuning stuff like SPX90 does detune too, but harmonizer takes it another level, which is that's great. But I think it some of the patches, if we patience enough to tweak, I think Eclipse can do the same thing or even better. And then from Dance Remnants, Studio Preamp, and then can't find Rockmod 1, patiently waiting. So right now I'm also get big influence from John Petrucci's or any other like metal players using like triaxis to get that the 2C plus tone. So I think it's great, even though Dan didn't use it back in the days. Instead, he using like the JMP1 or really avid player of Kasha. So again, I'm not Dan. I'm just trying to put the building blocks together for something that I can use for my playing, my going out and playing, and I enjoy playing it. So I think that's the idea. Choosing with Triaxis, this is great preamp, love it. The Fat Mod especially, and then using the RSP from Dance Remnant, and then I don't use any patch bay because trying to feed it in one rack, and then the 290. Now I'm still contemplating myself whether to use this or using Synergy 5050. I think like with Synergy 5050, I will have one more space over here, either put put something expandable in the future. There's gonna be like output from the RSP need to be patched back to the back of the rack because the output is in the front, I believe, of the RSP. That's the reason like Dan has the patch bay to loop it back to the back. So need to figure it out later on, like how I'm gonna cable this or patch this. But definitely for sure, the having organizations either using like 290 is awesome. I love it, but it's just hard with this 16U organization. I might consider like a bigger rack, but I just try to stick with the plan that yeah, let's try to use Dan's rack to you know to kind of like appreciate what he's done in the past. Now, you guys might wonder like what I'm gonna do with chorus. So since tri-stereo chorus is very hard to find, and then also the expander like TC expander 1210, it's so expensive these days. So I decided to go with the Eventide tri-stereo chorus. That's also great. I love it. And then for the preamp sections for the Marshall, I did use the 9069 preamp Jose mod, just straight a pedal on the back, and then I plan to use the two power conditioners on the back. One is Foreman, one is the Radial Power Dash one. I believe that has like 11 strips. Things gonna still change, but I think I'm gonna be ready to pretty confident like this is the right setup for the rack. So I think that's it for the rack architectures. I hope you get some insight about what it is, what's the tool, and then if you're asking me about like how I'm gonna make this tool live, I'm still in the working to cleaning up. And then if anyone interested to learn more about the tool that I'm using today, uh, feel free to comments or contact me. And then definitely I'm looking forward for your contributions. And then it's gonna be open source to respect like the pedal playground original developer of this. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates on the development.